Cameron Olson. Grew up in like central Iowa, Ellsworth, Iowa, kind of north of Ames. Living in Cedar Rapids for about a year now. Started with hard drive in May. Kind of looked around for a gym, and this is where I ended up, and I think I made a pretty great choice. So,
my name's Brandon Schiff Jones from Rock Island, Illinois. I train with Marty's MMA and Guerrilla Kickboxing Academy. My style is Muay Kwando, and I've been training martial arts since I was about 8 years old.
I, like everyone else at the gym, was wanting to put hard drive on the map more and more, like everybody else in their own gym. So, I don't know, I'm just ready to start destroying people. I'm ready to get done with amateur, and not looking past it by any means, but I'm ready to everybody's ready for the next level, so.
Getting more confident on the ground, and I kind of expect to see a lot of wrestlers, because growing up in the Midwest, that's what a lot of guys do, they wrestle.
The wrestling background was in high school. I was a pretty successful wrestler, probably a better wrestler than most football player. I mean, that doesn't carry over a whole amount. I guess the work ethic carries over more than just the end of the sport. If I can impose a will on somebody as far as just physique, the way I look,
Words can't really express how much it means to me to actually perform on a stage like this and get an opportunity to fight for a belt. As far as my opponent, I really don't know him that well, but I hope he trains hard. I train hard. I respect him, and hopefully the respect is mutual, and we'll put on a good show.
Making his way to the cage tonight in our fourth fight of the night at Cage Aggression 9, Return of the Champions, Cameron Olson out of Hard Drive MMA with a record of 2-0, representing Ellsworth, Iowa.
Talking to Cameron before the fight, he said that this summer he's going to quit his job and start working 24/7 on his MMA. That takes a lot of commitment, so he must be pretty confident in his skills.
When you got somebody saying that, like you said, huge 100% dedication to the sport, really looking to up the ante with what's going on. He's already 2-0, hasn't tasted defeat yet, doesn't plan to do it tonight. So really looking to keep that record going as he makes this thing a full-time deal.
Cameron also said that once he finishes his MMA career that he wants Joe Rogan's job. He's going to have to kill me first, then he's probably going to have to kill you in order to get that one.
He's got some shoes to fill with that. So,
oh, yeah.
Making his way to the cage tonight, Brandon Schiff Jones, representing Marty's Martial Arts and Guerrilla Kickboxing Academy with a record of 2-1 out of Rock Island, Illinois. And I had a chance to talk to Schiff Jones as he went from Guerrilla to Marty's, and he said really he just needed a coach. He is one of the main people at Guerrilla Kickboxing, but really wanted to get into that to Marty's camp and be coach and train, and you know every good fighter needs a good coach.
Of course. I know speaking with him as well, he was really quick to talk about how he's been doing Taekwondo since the age of 7. And I know we had a kickboxing exhibition earlier tonight, so you know he should be really strong with his stand-up game as well.
That's actually another aspect of the sport too. When you're a Taekwondo guy, your stance is a little bit different. Your kicks are more dangerous because they just come from different angles than the Thai kicks do and from the kickboxing. So really, it's a whole new level of fighting.
And with these being championship bouts, you know, there's a little more anticipation, a little bit more pressure on both fighters.
Oh, definitely.
Ladies and gentlemen, our next bout is for the vacant ECR Light Heavyweight Championship and is scheduled for 5 rounds. Introducing first, fighting out of the red corner. This man stands 6 feet, 1 inch tall, and weighing in at 202 pounds. He trains with Vision of MMA. Joining us from Ellsworth, Iowa, Cameron Olson. And his opponent, fighting out of the blue corner. This man stands 5 feet, 9 inches tall, and weighing in at 205 pounds. He trains with Marty's Martial Arts and Guerrilla Kickboxing Academy. He's sponsored by Stop and Shop Food and Liquor. Joining us from Rock Island, Illinois, Brandon Schiff Jones.
Mike Smith, our referee for our...
The action begins. Our referee in charge is Master Mike Smith.
Mike Smith, our referee for our first title fight at Cage Aggression 9. Return to the champions for light heavyweight championship. Cameron Olson in the black shorts, Brandon Schiff Jones in the gray.
This is what everybody's here for. Both guys going with kicks early.
Big shots from Cameron Olson, really looking. Some kicks landing already from Jones. Really looking to establish that inside kick.
Really nice jabs by Olson
doing
there.
a good job establishing the jab. Lots of jab. Big, good stand-up fight already.
Both these guys not afraid to trade shots.
Neither one of them afraid. Jones doing a good job of doing that inside leg kick.
Real nice shot by Olson.
Right down to his wrestling and take him down.
Big shots by Olson against the cage.
Olson really laying heavy on him right now.
Really nice knee there by Jones too to sort of take a little bit of the pressure off of himself. Good job of getting out of that as well.
Very similar styles if you just look at both fighters. Aside from the wrestling and the takedowns from Olson, pretty back and forth fight.
Yeah. Both guys definitely not afraid to trade.
No, and Olson's got those undercuts that I always talk about. You can't see
where they're
really
coming from.
Them go, and it immediately takes the back of Jones.
Jones trying to hang on right now. Big knee by Olson.
Behind. Huge shots coming from Olson, and Jones is going to need to do something right now to get out of that. Right to that wrestling again.
Jones doing a pretty good job of staying composed. He's definitely going to have to protect himself from those overcuts.
Yeah, with big fighters like this too. I mean, really, when you're laying all that weight down, it's a lot of weight. You know, to stand up isn't easier. Maybe it would be in a lighter weight fight.
Yep, and you can see Olson loading up those knees too. You can hear both guys cornering speaking, trying to give their fighters instructions.
Olson. Another big knee to the thigh. Really peppering that thigh out.
Big shot to the inside too by Olson.
And doing a good job of switching body head.
Yep, you don't know what to block.
At that single leg, look for that takedown and trip again, but
Jones did a really good job there staying on his feet, even though Olson's trying to get him.
Exactly. Light heavyweight, you got to remember that's 205 plus pounds. I mean, more than that because that's what you weigh in. 215, maybe 220 that you're lifting up and dumping down. Good knees coming from Olson, and Jones does a good job of turning himself. Needs to free up a little bit and really use that space right now and not let Olson get back in. Big spinning backhand lands. Big takedown again from Olson. And that's the round.
You know, that was nice to see the spinning back punch by Jones, but it was also nice to see Olson try to score with the takedown at the very end of the round.
Exactly.
A lot of times people sort of ease up at the very end like that, but neither of these guys decided to do that.
Especially in the title fight, there is no easing up. The end of the round, the last 10 seconds, that is your call to go, to throw it all out there. We've got 10 seconds left, so.
Both guys looking a little winded, but not too bad. Not too bad. Very action-packed first round, especially for Olson. He was able to do a lot of really good things there.
Yeah, he really established establish the pace and let Jones know like what he's got, what's in his arsenal, and I guarantee Jones is going to come out the second round knowing that he needs to keep at distance. That's what we were talking about, establishing range. He really knows the range now of Olson, which is pretty much in your face. So he's going to need to keep out of that if he wants to. A lot of footwork, a lot of circling away from him to keep away from that tie-up, because I mean he was pretty much 100% in takedowns in that round.
Here we go, round 2.
Big kick from Jones again. Answers right back too.
Really nice inside knees by Olson right there. It's kind of hard for Jones to do anything, when you're pressed up against the cage.
Good body shots, looks for the double leg and gets him down again, but Jones right back to his feet.
I've been watching long enough to know that, Jones should be trying to switch positions a little bit right now if he can, but.
Exactly, but huge takedown from Olson.
Real nice takedown by Olson.
He gets into side control. Really looking to get that right leg out and take full mount. Jones doing a good job of trapping that right leg, so isn't able to do that. Right now, Olson just doing a great
definitely going to
job.
have to protect himself a little bit right here.
Shots coming in.
Getting a lot of shots in the head.
Big knee, and this is where Jones needs to stand up and really.
Right, we're getting sort of toward the point in the match where, Jones is going to have to start putting together some offensive, moves. Doing a good job of trying to stand to get to his feet, though.
And gets back to his feet. Doing a smart job of keeping his hand on the mat so he can't get kneed in the face. As soon as he lets that hand up, the face is up for grabs.
And that shows that he's thinking. He knows that as long as he has that hand down there, he can't get kneed in the head.
Exactly.
A little bit less to worry about at that point.
Gets right back up to his feet. Needs, like you said, needs to get those underhooks in, turn him around. Olson looking for that takedown.
Another takedown,
again.
Yeah. Olson doing a great job of staying heavy against Jones.
And big knees to the thighs too. I mean, it's scary when you don't hear a slap in those studs. It's just need a muscle.
And those knees to the to the thigh area, to the knee area, those hurt. And especially once we if we get to the third round, those start tightening up and make your mobility even less.
And they affect your punching. I mean, you go to stand on it, it really prove effective later in the round if those knees. Jones really looking for that underhook on the right side. Mike Smith separates him like we've seen him do. Jones looks for the big Superman punch.
Three big shots by Jones right there.
Great finish to the round by Jones. And that's what we were talking about at the end of the round.
Yep.
Really,
and we got to give a big shout out to our ref because somebody else could have let those guys stay like that, but nope. He knows that we want to see action, and he decided to separate them, and then you get the end of a round like that.
And I love the Superman punch too because it throws you off. It starts off as a kick, and the kick's pulled, and then you almost catapult yourself forward. In that situation, great way to end the round and going into the third round.
Now,
starts off again with the Superman punch to Jones. Really right in the middle, trading again, and Olson goes right for that takedown again, and this time Jones trying to fight off.
Really nice trip by Olson right
there. Great
there.
leg sweep, and just goes to that side control and really doing a great job with hammer fists. And
Olson knows exactly where his bread and butter is at. You know, he may not be as successful standing up and trading with Jones, so he knows that he needs to get him on the ground where he can impose his will and do a little bit more damage.
Exactly. He waits for a big shot from Jones to counter with a takedown, and it's all about timing.
Trying to get another takedown right there was Olson.
Really just, I mean, in that position too, it's still a takedown. I mean, you just kind of dump him over and looking for those hammer fists again. It really takes his back right here. And you have to remember how big these guys are to have that guy riding on your back.
Right.
It's not as easy just to pop up, like I said.
And you don't want to go down, you know, flat on your stomach when you're in a position like this.
At this point, Jones really needs to maybe crawl over to the cage, maybe use the cage to its advantage.
Or even, you know, try to be a little bit active from down there. You know, slide out, at least, you know, wiggle a little bit.
When you say, I mean, your natural instinct is to stay shelled up like that. And Olson looking for the choke, but doesn't get it. Back to their feet again, and Jones walking back to the cage.
Now is the time for Jones to try to mount a little bit of offense right here. You know, get a little separation between him and Olson because he's been able to get a few strikes in.
Jones really needs that space to work, and that's what we were talking about. Needs just a little bit of room to work, but Olson knows that and is right on him like a blanket.
Exactly. These guys don't just come in the ring and decide to, you know, just fight and swing and just do whatever they feel like. They know. Olson knows that he needs to stay as close as he can to Jones.
Jones is getting tired too. We're in the round 3
definitely.
of 5, so takes some
Olson
big
saw
shots.
some nice striking ability right here too.
Over the
Big
spinning
spinning
backhand
backhand.
again. Right into the, and leaves himself open for that from Olson.
Very nice takedown right there.
This has been the way of the fight. Just really getting him in, pushing him up against the cage, really bullying him in there, and doing well with that. I mean, you know, why stop something that's working?
Exactly. The strategy's been completely successful the entire fight. You're scoring points because he's had a ton of takedowns. He knows that, you know, Jones is a little bit more dangerous with his striking ability, so what better to do than to keep taking him down?
Now, I will say, too, going into the 4th round, Jones' corner really needs to tell him like, when he's maybe do some fakes, and when he's going for that shot, throw that knee. You know, every time they tie up, he's shooting. So really try to throw a few knees and get the momentum your way a little bit. He definitely can still win in the 3rd. I mean, taking the 4th or 5th round. But he is down on the cards at this point, so. And
you can see the talent that he has with his striking ability, so he needs to do whatever he can to avoid being taken down. And like you said, change it up, try to throw some knees, you know, swing things around a little bit different so that he can regain control of this fight.
And you know what, almost these 4th and 5th rounds are scary to me sometimes because these are when you're seeing a lot of the haymakers, a lot of your tired techniques out of the window now, and you're really just throwing caution to the wind and these huge shots. So this is when we see some of those big knockouts that you might not see in the early rounds.
It's really easy to sort of, you know, slow it down a little bit and say, you know, hey, I'm going to go balls to the wall right now and go try to get a knockout.
Left side of Jones' eye is also swelling up, so he needs to watch out that he doesn't take a lot more of those hammer fists. Big kick from Olson.
Nice shot by Olson right there.
Great job, but just not get tied up this time. So.
Right, and Jones, you know, when he does those moves, he's being a little bit slow with it, so he has to, you know, speed it up and be ready for it.
Hops right into that.
Yeah.
Really want one of those things to land, and gets a couple right there.
Jones has a chance right here. You know, Olson's giving him a shot, so he might want to try to take advantage of that as much as he can.
or Superman punch. Really needs to get
Big shot by Jones right there. Almost a side punch, you know? Come from a weird angle, something that you're not ready for.
That's the Taekwondo, actually. That's the Taekwondo punch when it's almost with a backhand. Big kick from...
Yeah, you can feel those kicks here at ringside.
Big takedown again. You gotta watch that arm, too, as you're going down. I mean, you land on that wrist, but... Olson really trying to pop his head out.
All right, Olson looking like he's trying to get a side control going a little bit.
Really, I mean, he's laying on top too, laying a lot of his weight down on him too now, and really dropping those shots again.
Right, there's no space for Jones to do anything pressed up against the cage like that.
You know, at this point, I have to think that Cameron Olson's corner told him, continue doing what you were doing, get him down, drop the shots, don't let him up. And just kind of ride that out to the end if you can.
Right, and that's why it was interesting to see him sort of give Jones an opportunity to trade a little bit there at the beginning of the round.
He's also got to be tired too. I mean, even though he's in the dominant positions, you're still working. It's still exhausting. So maybe that was a time for him to catch, you know, a couple of breaths of air too. Right there, Mike Smith warning to watch the back of the head. Really, those hammer fists, you got to make sure you don't get the back of the head. Big body shots right now, you know, over and over. That's why he kind of postures up, because those are registering definitely. Smith separates him again. Great job, great decision.
Another chance for Jones right here.
Yes. Right down the pipe, I mean, kicks are landing from Jones this round. Side kick, and almost gets him right there. I would say, you know, Jones did a good job at the end there, really landing kicks. Fifth round, first title fight. What do you think Jones' corner is saying to him right now?
I'm guessing that they're encouraging him, you know, telling him that they know that he's trained, he's been ready for, you know, to go 5 rounds, so cardio shouldn't be an issue. They have to be telling him to try not to get taken down. He needs to probably go for a knockout right here, score as many points, as many times as he can, do as much damage as he can to Olson, because Olson is, you know, pretty much imposing his will, especially early on. You know, things have evened out a little bit, I think, as both fighters have fatigued a little bit, but Jones definitely needs to turn it on and try to go for a knockout here.
I would even say, too, start the round with one of those spinning backhands. It just really throws you off. I mean, the bell rings, you come in, you spin around, throw a backhand. Really, at this point, he needs to start doing some outside-the-box type of moves. And really maybe even go for a takedown himself and get on dominant, in top position and dominant. So
here we go, round 5. Olson with some very nice strikes right there.
Pretty much walks right into some 1-2s. Trying to get some good head movement. Kick for kick, great job.
This is where you're pulling out all the stops. Everything you got right here.
And you gotta say, we are in the 21st minute of this fight. So they have been going for 20 plus minutes at this point. Down and back up again, great job.
Really quick too.
So Jones knowing he doesn't want to be back on the ground.
Really nice high kick by Olson right there.
Big body kick from Olson. That'll take the breath right out of you.
Another one of those kicks that you can feel, you know. And right back to the ground we go. Jones has to do something here to either get a stand-up from our referee or, you know, get Olson off of him.
And Olson going right back to laying his weight down and dropping those shots down. Really looking not to get to the back of the head, but just dropping them down, you know, even frequently some of them are landing. So you just keep kind of laying it on like he's doing.
And he has to hear the crowd cheering for him and knowing that those shots are landing.
Right. Very hard for Jones to really establish anything and get out of that at this point.
All that weight pressing down on top of you, there isn't too much to do besides try to protect yourself.
Like you said, you've been in there. It's going on 25 minutes. It's very tough. The fifth round's very tough. That's why they call it the championship round. Fourth and fifth, the championship round. So Olson just pretty much needs to continue doing this, and he looks like he's going to get himself a title. But like we said, it's MMA, and anything can happen.
Of course.
Mike Smith can stand this back up, and Jones can definitely
get a knockout
out the bag. So.
Yeah. And Jones definitely has the ability to do that. He has all the tricks in the toolbox. Ooh, big shots by Olson there.
Shots, you can hear those land from over here.
Definitely trying to end this fight the right way. Not willing to just sit back and, chalk up a victory. He wants to go out in impressive fashion.
Right.
There are big shots by Olson to end this fight.
Here's where he's really going to lay it on the line. Jones can't do a whole lot, and Olson's going to ride this right out into probably a title.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
That's one of those things where, it's got to be, heartbreaking for Jones to have trained like that. Did some great things, but just couldn't get out from underneath the body of Olson.
Right. You run into somebody who, knows how to deal with what you're best at. And it's really difficult to be offensive when you're on the defense the whole time.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, we go to the judges' scorecard for your decision. Judges number 1 and 2 scored this contest 50-45, and judge number 3 scored this contest 50-44, declaring your winner by unanimous decision, Cameron Olson!
There you have it. In our first light heavyweight champion, Cameron Olson, at Cage Aggression 9. Return of the champions.
How's it feel good to walk out the cage with a belt around your waist?
First title fight in the night, first champion, and congratulations to Cameron Olson, improving his record to 3-0.